Hey guys, welcome to the video on the Inside Spurs Show. Happy Thursday afternoon. I hope everyone is okay. Everyone's all right. I hope everyone's having a bloody good day, if I'm honest. Obviously, not long to the weekend. Now, not long to the Premier League season. We are just under, well, we're just over a day away now. I think it's 8 p.m. tomorrow. Looking forward to Man United versus Fulham more than I probably ever would be. So I'm looking forward to that. But in this video, though, we're talking about a couple of players potentially going on their way to Leyton Orient on loan. We're talking about the man on the thumbnail from French Report sent Spurs are still interested in Jonathan David. We'll be talking about expected moves to Spurs this summer window in terms of incomings, not by name, but by position. You see what I mean? We'll also be talking about a rule change, which is going to really benefit Vicario. And yeah, there's so much more to get into. Just want to say, though, if you're watching this and you're new, subscribe. You're very much going to enjoy us the journey. Morning, D's, mate. How are we? Dan, Spurs, Van Gogh, Kieran, Jake. How are we all? I hope everyone is okay. You've had a bloody good morning wherever you are. And of course, Martin. Martin at the end before I start talking. Well done, Martin, getting in there. Martin and Robert, hey, everyone. How are we? So let's jump in. Let's talk about the French report on Jonathan David. So he came from L'Equipe, who said that Spurs remain very interested in signing Lille striker Jonathan David before the end of the summer transfer window shuts. Now, I'm going to be frank here and say, no, we're not. We've got two strikers in at the moment who, you know, give or take, whatever you feel about, you know, the add-on side of things, it's cost over 120 million, okay? Spurs aren't going to go and sign a third striker. The third striker should be Will Lancashire, in my opinion. That's the third striker he should be. Jonathan David won't be here. Now, Jonathan David, maybe next summer, if he was to be on a free, that's not a bad shout. Now, are there teams in the Premier League that maybe you might look at Jonathan David, you know, towards the back end of this summer window? Maybe. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I don't think he'll be expensive. I don't think it'll be. I mean, we've seen Bournemouth sign Van Nielsen for 47 million. You know, teams in the Premier League, even like the teams that are coming up from the Championship, but even the teams who are just about to survive relegation, they have more money than most of the world of football. So, you know, don't get me wrong. Yes, it's a lot of money for Bournemouth, and yes, obviously, a lot of it has been funded by the Solanke move. But it shows how strong the Premier League is financially. It really, really does. You know, it's a lot of money, but it shows how strong financially they are. So it wouldn't surprise me if John Davis still winds up in the Premier League this window. Now, conspiracy theory, tinfoil hat on. Is there a situation where Spurs maybe move on from Richarlison next summer? Maybe Richarlison doesn't work out, they move on from him, and they see Jonathan Davis on a free. I can see Spurs being all over that. Absolutely all over that. But Spurs won't be spending 25, 30 million on a striker this summer. It's not happening. They've already spent 65 on Solanke. They keep him, Richie. It's not happening. You know what I mean? He's a top player, though, isn't he? Yeah, he's good. He's good. He's good. Trusting Ange, absolutely. Hey, Stephen, how are you? For a player who hasn't played in the Prem, at least Solanke is Prem proven. True, I'll give you that. Agree on David. We need an out-and-out Ange ball wingers. We literally don't have one that fits the bill. I mean, we do have Heung-Min on at least, who I still think is absolutely bloody brilliant. So at least that's something. Hey, Finn, mate, how are we? Slanky's better fit for us, but Bournemouth have got a great replacement. Yeah, everyone wins in that deal. Porto also get a 10% sell-on fee. So, you know, if you sold them for 30, 40, 50 million, you know, make a few extra quid there as well, but they make good money on him. Bournemouth get in their replacement that they want, and they did it quite quickly, which is quite nice for them, obviously. So he should be, I think as long as it gets registered, he'll be a Bournemouth player for the weekend's fixtures. And also for us, we get the guy that we want. We wanted Solanke. We got Solanke. How are we? You know what I mean? I've seen Jonathan David play a little 10, either on the wing. Yeah, I look at him more as a number 9, though. I look at him more of a number 9. Hi, Andy. How are you? Crystal Palace rejected Newcastle's third offer for Gueye. Cozy, I didn't see that. But if they did, if we do want an Eze, the door might be crept open. Although I did see that Man City are actually going to be entering the market due to the Oscar Bob injury and obviously Julian Alvarez moving on. That brings them back into the party. So let's see on that one. Don't get the Dave move. Yeah, we won't be going for him. I'm officially fed up with our recruitment policy, though. Kadioglu is going to Brighton whilst we look for bloody opportunities. Well, Martin, we have an issue, though, in the squad. And we have an issue with the lack of academy trained players, which and then in turn puts real pressure on our European squad spots. You know, as much as people go, sell Skip, not good enough, fine. But we actually need Skip for our academy trained players numbers for Europe. He's one of 3. 2 of them are keepers. So we actually need him. And so, yes, Kadioglu is, you know, an exciting player. It was never going to be the summer that we were going to do that. And look, if I'm honest, Brighton is spending a lot of money. And obviously they finished, 12th last year or whatever. You know, they spent a lot of money, new manager. All I say is Brighton don't spend this sort of money ever. Yes, they have spent, you know, they've got McAllister and Caicedo. You know, obviously they've sold players like that. And maybe they're foreseeing moves next summer by bringing in these players now. That manager better deliver in a big way. Because if he gets 10th, that's not going to be good enough for the money that they've spent this summer. They spent serious money this summer. Afternoon, Sonia, how are you? We need homegrown players. That's why some of our transfers of the last 2 seasons have included this, and we need to get rid of our foreign quota to get new ones in. Yeah. We will still need to move on from players. We still need to move on to Celso, Reguilon, Solomon. Those are to name a few, you know. I'm coming to our next move shortly, don't worry. Had no idea who Oscar Wilde even was. He was great in the Community Shield. It looked like he's basically just another Cole Palmer, another Phil Foden. He's just another one on the conveyor belt that they have non-ending amounts of. MVR, mate, how are we? We can still sign 2 foreign players with expected outgoings. Yeah. Again, there's other factors that go into that, Martin, unfortunately. Peace and love, brother, from Malaysia. Cheers. Farhan. Cheers, my friends. So let's move on. Let's talk some more Spurs stuff. So let's talk about the guys going out on loan. So Alistair Gold saying that he understands Jamie Donley is set to head out on loan to Leyton Orient, should get plenty of minutes at the League One club for his development. He's also expected to be handed a new contract at Spurs. Leyton Orient are also among those interesting young Tottenham goalkeeper, Josh Keeley. So if you don't know who Josh Keeley is, he was the player that we sent out on loan to Barnet for the second half of last season. Obviously, Barnet finishing second in the conference that league. Obviously, moving up to Leyton Orient in League One, I think that's a really massive step for him, but a really good step. Obviously, Jamie, this is his first loan move, a solid team in League One. Obviously, the nice thing as well, when we talk about wanting to be able to see players in and around the English league, so keep an eye on the development, logistically, Leyton Orient's not bloody bad at all. It's very close. So no doubt scouts will be watching pretty much his every game, which would be good. And hopefully, I mean, look, he should really be getting a lot of minutes at Leyton Orient. And Leyton Orient are getting a hell of a player there who I think if he has a good 6 months, it wouldn't shock me that he gets a move like Alfie Devine, where 6 months, kills it in League One, moves into the Championship for the next 6 months. Obviously, loan roundups will restart, by the way, on this channel on a Tuesday after the transfer window. I just basically need to see who of all the players that go out on loan, who goes out on loan, and then for me to keep an eye on them as the season goes by. So nothing on loan roundups just yet, but on Tuesdays going forward, in September, we'll definitely keep an eye on that, all right? Solomon has barely touched football. Why the criticism? It's not the criticism, Kamagu. It's just Spurs want him to get regular minutes to get him back up to speed. But he's not going to get that at Spurs right now. And we kind of need his squad spot, if I'm honest. What thoughts of Marcus Edwards' picture coming about? Club training, play out wide, hell of a dribble on his day. Look, he's not my number one go-to for academy trained players. I'm still Kyle Walker-Peters over him. But if we go from like Netos and Rafinhas and Conceiçãos to a Marcus Edwards, that's a hell of a drop-off. So look, there's that on those 2 lads. Obviously, hopefully, if Josh Keeley goes there as well, makes my loan roundups really easy to keep an eye on. But hopefully, just for them and them only, they do well out there. Let's talk about this new rule change. So, listen up. The PGML has said that the offence of holding, i.e. blocking or obstructing for a keeper, will be penalised more stringently in set pieces when an attacker is trying to stop the movement of an opponent in the Premier League this season. So when we think about this for Spurs, obviously, Vicario getting near enough rugby tackled at every corner, and people pulling his gloves and standing in the way and not even trying to go to the ball. They're just trying to hold the keeper back, which is obstruction. That will get penalised in favour of Spurs. Now, obviously, we know what we're like. We're not going to get any of that, and we're still going to get penalised for some reason because that's what Spurs get. We get screwed quite often. But if we take the rules on face value, Spurs last season would have probably been a good 6 to 9 points better off. Genuinely, it would have. We would have been still 0-0 against Man City in the FA Cup because obviously, what was it? Ruben Dias or Nathan Ake were just jumping backwards into the keeper. But let's take it on face value. Let's be positive. Let's hope that the rules will be enforced for every club, not just a select few. And those select few clubs who are always the ones that are fouling at their corners, who I'm talking about, get penalised for that. Because if they do get penalised for that, those two teams don't score half as many goals at corners. That's for damn sure, because they're just fouling to get their goals. Any Eze news? Did it go cold? It hasn't gone cold. There's just no new developments. When I talked about Nico Williams yesterday, if you watch that video and what I said about Nico Williams, I also talked about Eberechi Eze as to why that deal is very difficult. So you can kind of put them together, if you know what I mean. Good to hear about the new rules regarding the goalkeeper. Yeah, I agree. For Europa League, Spurs club trained are 2 keepers more and 1 more. It won't be. They have to have been academy trained for at least 3 years. So more doesn't actually count. So Skip counts, Whiteman counts, and Austin, the other keeper, count. They don't count, unfortunately. Does Sarr count as home trained, club trained, or homegrown? No, he doesn't. They changed the rules. He no longer counts as that. Thank you, Donna, for the super chat. How are we? You all right? Thank you very much. There's a little like on that one. Appreciate it, Donna. Get Gallagher, Dennis. I think Gallagher is pretty much all but done to Atletico Madrid. I don't see Spurs going in there. Which 3 players would you get without going? Solomon loan. Well, look, for me, Christian, we need a right winger. For me, if I had to get one other position, it would probably be the left back. Now, could they play left centre back? Great, but left back, that's probably what I'd go for. Afternoon chat. Let's hope this helps with protection of Vic on set pieces. Yeah, absolutely. I tell you what, anyone that doesn't think Vic is a good keeper, quite a question on you. But if these rules are to be enforced the way they should be, then the one big weakness that you think Vic has gets negated, doesn't it? Him getting speared into the back of the goal, he can't really do much about that. But yeah, we're going to be better off for it. Now, the rules will be enforced until it costs Liverpool points. Then the whole thing will get scrapped. Yeah, until they want the replay. The club that benefits from these rules are the teams in the title race to keep it interesting. Well, yeah, they benefited from the rules previous to the change. Vic needs to be stronger on corners. Well, 6 to 9 points was more about me saying we'd gain more points, mate. If you sit there and think I'm actually counting exactly what points we're going to gain, I have a life and I touch grass. So what's happening with VAR this season? I just told you, Benjamin. I just told you. If you block a player on the pitch, it's a foul. Then blocking a keeper is a foul, but they disregarded it last year. Well, especially for Vic, they disregarded it, didn't they? Mr. Annie tell Lusford Obama. Lusford Obama, she's human, apparently. There you go. Thanks for the other super chat, Donna. There we are. With the transfer window so far, when do you think we'll finish this season, or is it too early to predict? I really hate making predictions about who I think the who do I think the signing of the summer is going to be? Who do I think the player of the season is going to be? I never make those sort of predictions until the transfer window's over. Yeah, I agreed with when I was watching Stick to Football, and they asked him, "Who do you think?" They'll go around the table, and Gary's asking the question. Gary Neville's asking the question. Who do you think will be player of the season? Or who do you think is going to be the best signing of the summer? And Roy Keane's like, we've got 2 more weeks left. Let's just, and then they scrap the question. And I agree. I scrap that question because let me just wait. I think Spurs will do well. I think we'll improve this season. Second season under Ange. You think we're going to naturally improve anyway for that? You've got to think just into question, because I think a lot of people go, oh, signings. Remember, Ange had to go from having 5 years ahead of him of some of the worst, most negative, sit back, out of possession football ever to we have more possession against Man City and Arsenal than they have against us. That's a huge change. Like, that is ridiculous amount of work that goes into that. And they were just last season working on just a style of play, just build up the style of play, keep that going. This season, now that play has been developed, he's already said when we're working on the tactical side of things. So naturally, we will improve this season. The players will improve this season again, just because a lot of those players was their first season under Ange, second season now. So I'm going to be positive. I'm going to say we're getting top 4 for sure. Sorry, I've done that one. I still have my doubts about Vicario. You keep them to yourself, Robert, because I don't have any doubts. I bloody love him. And when people go, we need to get a new keeper, then I think all but about 6 clubs need new keepers, which you're not going to get. They went extra hard on us because of that Liverpool game. Yeah, we got screwed karma-wise, didn't we? Karma-wise, we got screwed. New handball rules issues too. I need to check it out, Martin. Thank you. I have a life and I touch grass. Biggest lie Andy's ever stated. Oh, but Chelsea, mate, don't have me out like that. I do touch some grass. Come on. And to actually tangibly improve without aggressing while implementing a radically different style. Yeah. I mean, we went from 8th to 5th and we got rid of, we lost Harry Kane, the best striker in the world. We improved. The style of play improved. We brought in a new keeper, a new left back, a new centre back. It was Pedro Porro's first season at a new position at right back. We've got a new centre attacking mid in Maddison, and they're playing a new system in the midfield as well with a 3. So Basuma and Sarr, that was new for them. Bentancur the same. You then had a front 3 where Son was playing a new position. Left wing was in turmoil because Brennan Johnson had joined, and he was joined for the right wing and for this season coming, but was having to play a lot of left wing. Werner comes in. You think of how much change Spurs truly went through and what they came out of that for that season. Okay, yes, the cup performances weren't the best. I get that. But do you know what? We improved massively last season and we'll improve again this season, naturally. Thanks, Donna, for another super chat. Appreciate it. Fix the best shot stopper. Oh, that's a shout. Ooh, I do quite like Allison, mate. I do quite like Allison. He needs to improve in the air, but again, if he's getting speared into the back of the goal, there's not a lot he can do. I've played rugby. I played rugby for about 7 years. If you're getting speared, it kind of stops you a little bit. It kind of slows you down. Even if you're the strongest guy on the pitch, it's going to slow you down a little bit. Same thing with him. He's a good sweeper. He's a great sweeper. It feels like Ange has shot himself in the foot because people expect the same start from last season, which is actually ridiculous. Well, yeah, I mean, we're not going to get the exact same start as last season. That is ridiculous. Is it true Spurs can only sign 1 foreign player before they sell more? They need to sell more before they really sign more foreign players, mate. We need to move off of the 3 for sure. Moving on. Talking about Spurs as the next move. Michael Bridge through Sky Sports News. This is a bit of a slower situation, because we've already talked about this before, but he's saying that Spurs want to sign an energetic midfielder and a winger this summer. So, nothing real update there. We know Spurs are still looking at midfielders. Gallagher going to Atletico Madrid. Spurs were somewhat keen, but with Chelsea wanting 45 million, but selling for 33.7, you can see there's an issue there. Spurs weren't going to do that. If Spurs would cut at 35, they'd have done it. If we have a situation like Jacob Ramsey, well, that plays a part with Lo Celso going the other way. So we'll see on the midfielder. The winger front, the market is dwindling. Conceição looks like he might be off to Juventus. Obviously, Rafinha wants to stay at Barca. Bakayoko, we won't be going for. Doué's off to PSG. Eze, we'll see. That looks like a too difficult deal to do this late into the window. So, yeah, there's a lot of moving parts on that regard, to be honest. I won't be starting an OnlyFans channel, no. I'm trying to hear that. Jesus Christ, Donna. There you go. I've said it. The issue with Vicario is that he doesn't command his box, and I'm not sure if that's something you learn as a keeper or maybe you have it and some don't. I thought he commanded his box pretty well. He was a great sweeper keeper, great playing out from the back. Under the high ball, like I said, if you're getting fouled a lot, there's not a lot you can do. You also sometimes need your defenders to stand up and, jump and try and header the ball themselves, which Romero was good at. But that's the one thing about Mickey van der Ven's game. you'd say actually not the best defending corners. I love Mickey. I think he's going to be an absolute bloody rock star, but you know what I mean? I think fans went over the top about cup exits. We're out to City and Fulham on penalties. Well, look, I mean, do you know what? We were trying to rotate, and people go, yeah, rotated. It's pathetic. It's this, that, the other. It's like, well, Ange has to find out what he has in these players. I mean, the Fulham game came, like 3 games into the season or whatever it was. Look, I was upset about going out, but I wasn't standing on the cliff edge about it. You know what I mean? Like, and we lost to Man City when we were so ravaged with injury. Like, Maddison came back and he was pretty much still walking in a walking boot. He wasn't fit. So I didn't mind that as much. You know, yes, this season we'd like to have, cup runs, obviously, but I'm not going to crucify him for it. It's his first season as well, you know. Do you think Spurs could sign Victor Roque and use him as winger? I don't know if you use him as a winger. Could they sign him? Yeah, maybe. Put Sergio Reguilon in that deal, you know. Why won't we go for Bakayoko? Just some of his comments I don't think would have sat perfectly with Ange. Coming off 22-23, didn't most Spurs fans want Son to move into the centre as he was older and slower? What happened to that? And do we think he can still be what we need as a winger at 32-33? Yes, I do think he can still be a brilliant winger for us. Absolutely. We saw in pre-season that he was pretty electric still. I think he'll be fine there. I think there'll be games where we need him as a striker because we need that high press work. But as a left winger, that's his natural position. He's still fantastic there. You know, he's still quick. He's still tricky. He can still get a good ball in or two, and he can still beat a player. So yeah, I'm fine with him out of there. And it allows Spurs to have a striker rocking and rolling through the centre, you know? I didn't say it in the same disgust used to. Maybe I'm just getting used to you trolling. Maybe I'm just getting used to it. Maybe have been to... Well, he was having injury issues this season. In his last season at left wing, he was having injury issues. You've got to think the season before that, he was potentially the best player in the league. Mate, this season we need a cup, any cup. Well, for me, progression. I just need progression. At least one of the domestic cups, we want a really good cup run there. In Europe, we've got to be going well deep into Europe. I hope for a European cup win personally, but we need to be going deep into Europe. And then for the Premier League, we need to take a progression there. Ange wants to win everything. I'll want to win everything with him. But as long as we get progression and we can see signs of progression, the style of play is still great and everything like that, that's all I'm clamoring for at the moment. His attitude isn't. Back here is very one-footed, doesn't suit us. I saw some links to Dingra. I think he'd be a good signing. Yeah, Dingra, for me, would be another future signing. And Brighton will probably want something ridiculous money-wise. I mean, Brighton are signing all these players because there must be something that they know that maybe is a deal coming. But a Dingra's not for me, personally. Ange said last year we were hindered by lack of games. Well, technically we were. More games means more time on the pitch against opposition for us to develop. But you work with what you've got to work with. And he would have wanted to have rotated through Europe to see what he had as well. It would have been the exact same thing, you know? Progression in a cup would be great. Yeah, I agree. Does Son getting a trophy overshadow Kane's legacy and become the greatest Spurs player of this generation? In terms of Spurs legacy, probably would be the best player of this generation. Maybe since the 2000s, maybe he's the best. Maybe. You'd have to say he's got a better legacy than Kane. Yes, Kane's the top goal scorer of the club, but Sonny has won something as the captain and stayed when Kane went. Obviously, he wouldn't be the best player to play for Spurs since the year 2000. Obviously, that's Luka Modric. That's not Gareth Bale. It's Luka Modric. He's won the Ballon d'Or. Let's keep it there. But yeah, Bale or Son. Bale, Son, or Kane, you'd have to say probably the three. Eze or bust. But yeah, we'll see. Obviously, lots going there. Just want to quickly say, if you do want to join the Fantasy Football League, I will implore you to join today because the registration for the league will shut up shop tomorrow. The league shuts because obviously it is game day tomorrow. So here is the link to the video. If you want to join the league, watch that video. It takes 2 minutes to watch that video, honestly. It will tell you the one rule that I have for fantasy football to make it a bit more exciting. In the comments down below, there is the link to join the FPL League. There's over 50 of us. I think there's like 53 people in the league, which is really cool. Hey, if we can get a few more, why not? Yeah, join the league. Make your team nice and funny. I mean, team name-wise. Be interesting to see how many of you are going to go for Haaland. just to give you an FYI, I've not gone for Erling Haaland personally. I may rue that mistake, but too expensive. Finn, I know you're in there. I can see the names of the people that are in the league. I know you're in there, Finn, mate. Don't you worry. But yeah, join the league if you do want to. Be very much appreciative if you do. Yeah, it shuts up shop really tomorrow. So I'm going to give you all today to get into the league. Join there. And yeah, let's have a belter of a fancy football league season. But anyway, guys, at the end of the video, I hope you enjoyed. Drop a like on the video. If you did, hit me in the comment section down below your thoughts and feelings about Jonathan David, the boys going out on loan, the next moves lined up, whatever it might be. Let me know. Obviously, if you're watching this back and you're commenting, I'll comment back to you. Don't worry. Anyway, subscribe to the channel if you need, hit the bell notification for more. But anyway, guys, at the end of the video, I'll see you all very, very soon. Take care, guys. Peace.